You're safe. Today is officially over for you. There is absolutely nothing else to resolve or plan in these early hours. Close your eyes slowly, letting the darkness of the room wrap around you completely. Notice immediately the immense amount of physical tension you're holding right now. You spent the whole day wearing heavy, restrictive, and socially acceptable armor. A mask meticulously designed so the world believes you have everything under control. But in the safety of this bed, the armor no longer serves you. It is only exhausting you deeply and at a cellular level, draining your vital energy. Breathe in deeply, filling the base of your lungs with fresh and restorative air. And release all that air in a single, sudden, and liberating breath. The insomnia you feel is not a defect of your body nor your biological enemy. It is simply your sympathetic nervous system flatly refusing to lower its strong defenses. Because it knows perfectly well that if it turns off the analytical mind, everything repressed will surface. And your ego has a terrifying fear of feeling that wave of vulnerability. But tonight, we are going to change the operating protocol completely. Tonight, you are not going to run away from yourself, nor are you going to anesthetize anything at all. We are going to open the pressure valve in a clinical, calm, and completely safe way. Bring all your focused attention directly to the center of your chest. Feel the physical weight and the density that resides there. Then move your full awareness to the inside of your throat. Where exactly is that invisible and dense knot hiding? Do not try to dissolve it, fight against it, or fix it magically at this precise moment. Just observe it passively, with a curiosity completely free of any kind of judgment. You have spent too much biological and mental energy trying to anesthetize certain specific emotions in your life. Those dense sensations that you mistakenly label as bad, dark, or completely undesirable. Chronic sadness, acute frustration, anger kept in silence, and the paralyzing fear of failure. But the architecture of your human body does not work with a selective anesthesia system. If you build a massive and impenetrable concrete wall to block the stinging pain, that same wall will also block your peace. That barrier stops spontaneous joy, deep calm, and your natural and instinctive ability to rest. To truly sleep again and repair the damage in your cells, you have to allow yourself to emotionally collapse today. You have the official, absolute, and definitive permission to feel bad at this very moment. Breathe deeply from your abdomen, filling your system with pure air. Nothing tragic at all happens by allowing this to manifest. Feel with full awareness how the inert structure of this bed supports the entire massive weight of your physical body. It does so without complaining or ever breaking under your gravitational weight. And now, intentionally and deliberately, allow this bed to also support all your accumulated emotional weight. If today, when observing yourself, you feel broken, insufficient, or completely dismantled, allow yourself to be broken. If today you feel very sad or overwhelmed by external circumstances, let that heavy sadness occupy all the space. Do not try to push it out of the dark room or reject it mentally. You do not have to be strong, invincible, or resilient during this particular night. Constant and exhausting strength is exactly the defense mechanism that keeps you in a state of toxic wakefulness. It is that extreme vigilance and maximum alertness that does not let you turn off the central operating system. Breathe deeply once more. You are completely safe and sheltered here in the darkness. Surrender right now without presenting any rational objection or elaborate excuse. Let your shoulders fall heavily onto the mattress, noticing the immense gravity exerting its magnetic force. Immediately relax the tense jaw you are clenching without realizing it, and subtly loosen your lips. Give an unconditional, open, and peaceful welcome to any strange or uncomfortable sensation knocking at the door of your subconscious mind. That discomfort is only biological, instinctive, and natural energy desperately seeking a safe exit in the midst of this nightly stillness. Let it out completely without containing it, without trying to explain it or look for a logical origin. Observe the analytical mind working uselessly at full speed at this very moment. that obsessive and critical inner voice that punishes you mercilessly in the silence of the early hours, repeating the long and endless list of things you supposedly did not do well today. That exhausting voice that demands you be highly productive, be infallible, be perfect, and always be enough to please others. Chronic insomnia is nothing more than the instinctive resistance of your ego, fighting to the death against the inevitable feeling of extreme vulnerability. But you are not that scared and demanding voice. You are not the fear of failure, nor the anxiety that burns in your chest. You're simply the vast, deep, and immutable sky. Dark emotions, constant anxiety, and painful insufficiency are only the temporary weather passing through that enormous sky. A massive thunderstorm, no matter how loud it is, can never tear, break, or destroy the immensity of the sky. It simply passes, exhausts its own natural energy, and disappears on its own in the silent distance. But here and now, in this protected, immensely silent, and completely dark space, that tenacious resistance is profound and absolutely useless. Allow yourself once and for all to let go of that heavy and extremely exhausting burden you carry on your back. If when looking at yourself today, you feel truly insufficient, do not fight against the painful perception or punish yourself. If you feel with deep conviction that you are insignificant before the immense size of your problems, do not try to artificially convince yourself otherwise. You do not have the obligation to recite empty, forced, and meaningless positive affirmations just to cover up the real pain you feel. Breathe deeply and calmly from the center of your chest. Just repeat internally this undeniable truth. I feel absolutely insufficient at this precise moment, and that is perfectly, completely, and totally fine. I feel small, disoriented, tired, and insignificant in front of the immensity of life, and nothing grave or catastrophic happens by admitting it in a low voice. Let that overwhelming feeling of smallness and vulnerability flood you completely without judging it as something toxic, dangerous, or that you should urgently eliminate from your mind. Notice how by suddenly stopping the fight against that dark emotion, paradoxically, the visceral fear begins to lose its hypnotic and controlling power over your physical body. Chronic nightly suffering does not come from the emotion itself, but from the massive and disproportionate amount of energy you spend daily trying to avoid it and not feel it. Allow it freely. Surrender completely to it without offering any resistance on this bed. Let that dense, dark, and deep pain drain naturally, fluidly, and peacefully from your entire intricate muscular and neurological system, knowing with total certainty that you are protected, anchored, and completely safe in this silent night. That feeling of insufficiency that burned violently in your chest a few minutes ago is now progressively losing its original strength. Like an electrical storm that has spent all its accumulated energy, the dense emotion begins to slowly fade into the infinite immensity of your mind. You are not the sadness you felt burning inside. You are not the overwhelming anxiety that kept you awake, vigilant, and in a state of constant alert throughout the early hours. You are only the silent observer, the peaceful and untouchable witness who is witnessing how all that happens, collapses, and finally disappears. Breathe deeply, filling the abdomen with fresh and deeply renewing air for each of your cells. And exhale slowly, releasing the last drops of physical, muscular, and mental resistance that still remained hidden in your system. By giving yourself absolute permission to feel what you mistakenly labeled as bad or dangerous, you have released an immense and healing space in your central nervous system. The empty space now begins to fill quickly with a lethargic, deep, overwhelming, and highly restorative heaviness. Your arms, your legs, and your torso weigh massive tons on the soft surface of this bed that holds you unconditionally. Motionless, completely surrendered to the magnetic force of gravity that anchors you powerfully to the present moment and sinks you into total darkness. The electrical activity of your prefrontal cortex is drastically decreasing and turning off completely at this precise instant. There are no more complicated stories to analyze or urgent problems to magically solve before dawn. There is no longer an uncertain future to plan meticulously or an immutable past to painfully lament in strict solitude. All the exhausting mental noise has been replaced right now by a vast, immense, and deep ocean of absolute inner silence. You are floating peacefully adrift, completely relaxed in this infinite, restorative, and wonderfully dark ocean. Allow yourself to sink a little deeper, heavier, and looser with each new cycle of your own calm and measured breathing. We begin the terminal phase of this intervention and the direct and irreversible descent into the depths of the nightly and restorative subconscious. 10. Multiplying and drastically increasing the gravity in your entire dense and tired body, sinking every cell into absolute rest. 9. The physical limits of your body completely disappear in the dark and silent immensity of the starry and enveloping night. 8. Your conscious mind goes completely blank, inactive, surrendered, pacifying the stress accumulated during endless hours of wakefulness and tension. 7. Keep sinking slowly and unstoppably into the immense, warm, protective, and deeply healing darkness that awaits you at the lowest level. 6. Your entire neurological and nervous system gently shuts down, cutting any remaining connection with the bustling and highly demanding outside world. 5. Lethargic heaviness completely invades and dominates every muscle, fiber, and nerve of your physical structure, immediately relaxing chronic tension. 4. Oxygen flows slowly through your bloodstream, installing unshakable peace in every vital organ as you approach the magnetic threshold. Three, you are releasing absolutely any useless remnant of conscious control that remains stored and hidden behind your false and exhausting armor. 2, deep, heavy, and biologically restorative sleep takes total and definitive control of your mental faculties, turning off the main screen right now. One, you have successfully reached the safe bottom of the Delta Ocean, where only absolute silence and uninterrupted healing rest take place tonight. 0. Delta frequencies take over and your brain enters total repair mode. Simply sleep deeply. Good night.